This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Today being brought to you by Taco John's, home of your six-pack and a pound sirloin steak burritos. Again, tomorrow it's Taco Tuesday. Am I forgetting anything else? Oh, yeah, your loaded potato olays. I mean, they have everything.
Don't they have like sparkling lemonade or something like that too?
They've got all the good stuff. So if you don't feel like cooking, then you definitely want to go over to Taco John's, and they give you many locations throughout the city. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. We've been talking to our good friends over there on Highway 30. You know, they got hailed on, and they've got some good deals that they're working with you on right now. So again, I always think of Jolly Rogers as your home for Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. Well, you might want to take a cruise in there and see what kind of a sale that you're going to get from hail over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. If you've not had breakfast from Chick-fil-A, then you're from out of town, because Chick-fil-A serves up delicious breakfast Monday through Saturday. Most important meal of the day, in my opinion. So you definitely want to start over at Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. Two convenient drive-thrus, oh, by the way, and they are right across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne. The 18s got to go because the 19s are arriving. And again, Greg and A.J. Miller and the entire staff over there invite you to take a test drive and take home the Kia of your dreams today. Kia of Cheyenne on Nationwide. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. Customer service always first and foremost at Rick's Place. That over on Vandehigh Avenue. Rick Flood and the great crew over there. And, of course, they also take care of you on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Doctor's prescription, you're good to go over at Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body times 2, where they have been busy in the auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue. Matter of fact, the Auto Glass and Detail Center also busy over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, talk to them about their great annual percentage yield right now on their CD rates, whether it's 16 or 27 months. And again, they have a plan for you over at First Tier Bank. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons, is the home for Mondello's Pizzeria, where they serve up delicious Paisan cuisine 7 days a week. It is absolutely delicious, always fresh. And again, like I said, delicious is the first word that will pop out of your mouth. Wyoming, Montana Safety Council. Give Tim a call, 635-4592, and Mars Plumbing and Heating. You can check them out at 1515 Logan Avenue. We're going to get a little taste of it being cooler, so if you need to get the heater all ready to rock and roll, well, you know, you might want to give Mars Plumbing and Heating. They took care of your air conditioning. Let them take care of your heating unit right now. And, of course, we start off with our scoreboard, and our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick. He may have something. Then again, he may not. Let's see what he's got.
I got plenty on my side. We'll recap what happened with LCCC athletics, starting with volleyball. As a volleyball team was in action in Council Bluffs, Iowa, in a classic tournament. They went 3-1 over the weekend, and LCCC for women's volleyball is 4-1 on the season. They will have a game coming up this Wednesday. LCCC men's soccer, they were in action as well, too. They were here in Cheyenne. They were taking on Garden City Community College and got a victory 2-1. So they're 1-0 on the season, and they will have a contest coming up this Friday all the way out in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. In women's soccer, they were in action down in Melbourne, Florida. First game, it was a loss, and second game against a Daytona State College team, it was another loss as well, too. So LCCC women's soccer starting off 0-2 on this early season. They will have a game coming up here in Cheyenne coming up this Friday. And then also, too, a game you heard here live on 1480 K-Ray from this past Friday. It was Thunder Basin putting a whipping on, unfortunately. It was not the way Mike Apodaca wanted to start out the season under the new era out there at Cheyenne Central, but Thunder Basin, the number 5 ranked team in Class 4A, they won 47-0. We'll go over the rest of the Class 4A, at least schedule from the past weekend, later in today's show.
All right, we will check out Major League Baseball on tap for today. When we get off the air, White Sox will visit the Yankees, Blue Jays, and the Orioles in Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Nats and the Phillies. How about this? Probably one of the biggest series that will be taking place this week, and it starts off tonight at Minute Maid Park. Astros and the Swingin' A's, where the Astros hold on to a 1.5 lead over Oakland for control of the West. Also, the Mets and the Cubs at Wrigley. Rocks will open up a 2-game series with the Halos at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, as the Rockies will have interleague play for the first 2 days of this week, and then they'll move on to San Diego for 4. So Rockies and Halos. John Gray will get the call for Colorado. And the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Interesting series to take place at AT&T Park in San Francisco for this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Just a couple of notes here. The U.S. Open is going on in New York. This is the U.S. Open tennis. Mm-hmm. And already number one has already fallen, and that is Simona Halep. She was defeated earlier
I doubt
today.
that's how you pronounce it, but whatever.
How do you say it?
I don't know. I'm not going to take a stab at it. I'm not going to look like an idiot.
Halep. Halep.
Sure.
She loses 6-2, 6-4, and right now Venus Williams on the court. She has lost the second set. She is tied right now with her opponent. She won the first set 6-3 and lost the second set 7-5. Just to get you updated.
Anyway,
from New York,
we got a lot to talk about. Maybe on the football side,
hell of a lot to talk about.
Cowboys getting a victory. We have Class 4A, at least with Wyoming high school football in action. Where
do you want to start?
We can start wherever. We could probably recap Class 4A action again, get to that scoreboard, or at least of what happened around the state, starting with number 1 ranked Sheridan, the Bronx, taking on Rock Springs. Interesting, as we saw a blowout, and I figured the same thing against Rock Springs, but Sheridan comes away with a victory 21-6. Number 2, Natrona.
Wait, let's
oh, you want to break?
No, the reason I want to slow that down, again, 21-6 may not be really indicative of how good Sheridan is, Or
are they pulled back again without at least their old head coach? Without Don Julian.
But also, that's a long road trip. That's a killer
It's not an
trip.
excuse because Sheridan is put on whippings again across the state. It doesn't matter where they're at. So again, that is not an excuse that the Broncos are going to be using. But again, an interesting final score where Rock Springs, kind of that mid-tier 4A team, not down in the basement of Class 4A, but again, Sheridan, respectable, again, back-to-back state champions. You figure they put up a little bit more points as we saw other teams put up quite a few across the state. Number 2, Natrona County. They came at least all the way down to Cheyenne to take on the South High Fighting Bison over that Bison Stadium. Natrona County, the Mustangs, they put up a big number as they score 59 points against Cheyenne South's 0. So the Mustangs are absolutely for real. Cheyenne South still a team that needs to improve on a few things, and it's going to be, you hate to say it, but it's looking like it's going to be another long season.
There
but
was
again,
a couple of bright spots in that game. We can't always poo-poo that, hey, they got clobbered, but there were a couple of bright spots. And now you turn around and you try to work on those individual performances and try to get that team around that individual now.
And number 3, at least ranked Casper Kelly Walsh. They were over in Laramie, picked up the close victory, 27-14. So nice little matchup between the Trojans and Plainsmen over on Friday. Number 4, Cheyenne East. The Thunderbirds traveling all the way up to Gillette to take on Campbell County. Guess what? As what we saw with Cheyenne South and Natrona, it was the same score, but at least a Cheyenne team put up the 59 points. It was 59-0. Cheyenne East gets the victory over Campbell County. So that at least little bright spot here in the capital city. And then the game, as I mentioned earlier, number 5, Thunder Basin traveling down here to Cheyenne Central, the new era under Mike Apodaca, head coach over there. Unfortunately, it was not the way that Coach Mike Apodaca wanted to start out the season, as Thunder Basin gets the 47-0 victory on Friday. So right now, throughout at least Class 4A, all your top dog, at least 1 through 5, all 5 top seeds got victories over this past Friday.
You know, it's interesting, too. You look at the game that we'll have this Friday night over at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. We will have Cheyenne East at home. And, again, just because they struggled against Laramie, matter of fact, John Vance said he really appreciated the test that they got from the Plainsmen at Harry Gilding Stadium. This one, you just don't say, hey, it's in the bag.
You give a slight home field advantage, obviously, to East.
They still have that the running back. I do believe his name is Spiegelberg, if I remember from last year. Brock Spiegelberg.
I don't know.
As a junior, I mean, the game we had against Cheyenne South, I mean, he ran all over them single-handedly. So this is a pretty good outfit that's going to be coming into Cheyenne on Friday. So, again, you just don't hand the pinball crown to Cheyenne East and say, hey, just because you clobbered Gillette, you're going to have an easy time. I think East is very good. Just looking at the stats that I saw from
but also, too, again, it's the same situation, though, as we mentioned with Natrona County and Cheyenne South. Again, 59-0. Again, Campbell County is one of those teams we're not expected to do a whole lot this season. It is still a very young team that's going to take some lumps again this season, and they certainly did against Cheyenne East, especially there at home in Gillette. So it's certainly a game for Cheyenne East. Is it something that you read a whole lot into? A little bit, that it's a team that can score on the offensive side. It can slow you down on a defensive stance. But now here's the true test coming up in week 2, or at least week 1, between Cheyenne East and Casper Kelly Walsh here in Cheyenne. It's going to be a great game, and again, it will be a game we will have here on 1480 K-Ray. It is our game of the week that will be broadcasted live over the radio, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, and also too on our YouTube side. Again, thank you to all who did join us for that first ever game broadcast on the YouTube side. A little more announcements regarding that. We will move as well to our game of the week broadcast from, it will stay on YouTube, but also too, we will add Periscope as well too, which we are live right now with Wyoming Sports Talk today. So we'll just do what we're doing with the show, but add it to our game broadcast of having both Periscope and YouTube have the options to watch the game of the week. And also too, we will add a little bit more visuals. We'll beautify it up, essentially, of adding a little more flair to our presentation.
More technological stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And I want you to know, Nick,
it's not just going to be a stat. Well, and again, I put in the production value, at least for game 1, week 0. But again, we're going to add a little bit more. It's going to look more professional.
Well, Friday was actually a test, and matter of fact, as I have been talking to quite a few of my friends, matter of fact, one of them, our tech guy, who was very concerned about how things would come out, and again, he made sure that he got you the top of the line stuff. But I've been talking you up. I thought you did an excellent job. Matter of fact, we weren't even worried about you. We just did the game. Yeah. And then I know when we had to turn the lights on, you got a little concerned about that. But the people that
the glare is going to be an issue. I assume that those at least.
But the people I talked to said the quality was really good. And again, you did a great job in just the engineering part of it. Our job was easy. Now, going back to some of the game notes, and we'll talk about the game.
Yeah,
I got to tell you. And again, this is starting to really irritate me, and I'm sorry that we didn't bring this up to Ron Laird the other day.
Well, it never hit our mind because again, this was preseason before any of this ever happened. Well, but granted, we've been through with basketball, high school basketball last year, and then a little bit of football with, at least many issues.
Well, let me run down some of the scenarios of the game. Again, Cheyenne Central was not good. But that's the easiest way to put it. They were not good.
Not to put down those student athletes, but again,
Thunder Basin came out and put a whooping on you.
That final score of 47-0 and just how Thunder Basin came out, I did not anticipate. I did not anticipate.
And the Dogs were called off midway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
Even early in the third quarter. I think we only saw one series for Mason Hamilton in the third quarter. Yeah. He was gone.
But this was not an end result I was expecting between these two teams. Where again, I thought Central was going to put up a little bit better effort on their behalf.
They had a good fight last year at Thunder Basin. Yeah. But here, let me say this though, and I'm not going to get in my face. Week 1 or week 0, what do you want to call it? We're trying to get everything put together and getting our stats and getting starters and all that and rosters and everybody kind of came through for us. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to talk to Coach Apodaca. That was one of the wrong things that happened.
Which we will kind of, at least we've discussed and we'll take care of it with at least head coach Chad Goff for Cheyenne.
But anyway, then we wanted to make sure this is going on, and then there's stuff going on at the school that you and Chad were working on there up until we got to game time. You guys were on the field waiting.
I had to figure out the puzzle piece, and eventually it was just like, I'll just take care of it, and this works.
So, but my point is, though, we start our pregame show, and we did get into it a little bit late, and that's our fault. And I'll take full responsibility for it. But we had
it's dusting out the cobwebs.
But we had it set up. As a matter of fact, we eliminated an element in our pregame show, so we would be able to kick off at 7:00 and be able to do everything. Oh, again, I'm sorry if you're an official out there. You know what? You can call me every name in the book. I don't care. I am sick and tired of the guys in the zebra shirts who can't get times right. Now I will have to go down on the field here before game time Friday and remind the officials that it's a 7 p.m. kickoff, not 6:53, not 6:54.
My joke with you is maybe their watches are off sync, or again maybe a few minutes behind.
I'm sorry,
where
if they're John Belushi from Animal House, they better buy a new watch.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, these officials were that did not set well with me right away.
And again, it's something that we haven't been used to. Again, I know basketball games.
But what do we have to do? We have to eliminate us.
Oh yeah, we have to adjust to them. Where
and that's ridiculous. And I should.
Well, we time out, and we have to again in precise ways of going. All right, we have these elements, and it leads up to where we should be on time.
We're in the middle of an interview when they're ready to kick off.
Yeah.
What's the matter with these people? Are they that stupid? And again, what time did the game say it was starting?
7.
Why are they starting at 6:53, 6:54?
I have no idea.
What is wrong with these guys? Are they that dumb? Yes, they are.
Second, they had to start early because again the third quarter was where they made up that time.
Let's get into halftime. Halftime is posted on the board X amount of time.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. Now I don't know how it was when you played. I can't remember, Nick.
I don't think we ever got additional minutes on the board.
Now, I know, going back in 1974 and 73 when I was playing high school football, we had officials come in before the game. They checked our pads to make sure we didn't load anything in them, okay?
I've never heard about that. But
no, they would come in. They would check our stuff.
I've never seen that.
And then when we went to halftime, you had the officials come in, knock on the door, one of the officials, and say 3 minutes. So that way you would start heading back to the field.
And granted, you have technology nowadays where walkie-talkies or some way to communicate.
How many coaches do you have? You got more coaches. We only had 3 coaches back when I played.
You got like
you got a staff.
Crew of
you
like
got a
10.
support
Yeah,
staff
yeah, you got
that should be letting you know how much time. So anyway, Central missed the bell and came out when halftime.
Which is interesting because you figure, again, not even a week 0 excuse again. And it's who knows what happened on that. But again, all those participants are they understand how football works, at least how high school operates. And again, you know that time limit is there. But in my understanding, at least from the rule book, is if you go over that time, that's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It's a delay of game penalty.
Yeah. So, again, was that a situation where the refs had miscommunication? Was it an misunderstanding between the coaching staffs? I don't know. Because, again, Thunder Basin came out way earlier, or at least they came out
at the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, they came out earlier than Cheyenne Central. And whatever the miscommunication or whatever the reason was for the delay, it was very interesting. Because obviously it might have been, in my theory, it had to be on the refs because the refs did not call that.
Here's one.
It was twice. I do believe that they put up that 3-minute mark, or at least additional 3 minutes.
Yeah. Here's the part where I'm very angry with the officials because you're so anal about getting the game started early, but then Central comes out with no time left at halftime. And then you tack on some extra minutes on the scoreboard. So, what?
And it wasn't senior night or anything special. It was just, hey, let's, it's week 0. There should be no issues. Again, you're all professionals out there. You should know what you're doing, but clearly you did not.
And again, this crew, for week 1, if I grade myself at just average, I grade you guys as a D-.
It was pretty pathetic, and especially if we move on from the halftime to the third quarter.
Now, the third quarter was an absolute joke.
That was pathetic.
How do you make a 12-minute quarter last 45 minutes?
How do you make a 12-minute quarter where a team's already up by 40 points, where, again, it's a clear blowout on the Thunder Basin side, but yet you delay and call every little minute thing, which you should have done earlier in the contest but never did.
And this is not good for the kids. And again,
slow down pace. Again, it wears out players. It's not a good. It wasn't a good ordeal.
Well, and again, it's almost like we had a stoppage of play almost every play in the third period. Now, granted, I understand Thunder Basin started running in some, underclassmen to play, but most of the penalties were against Cheyenne Central.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, not that I'm saying that they were calling one way or the other. That's not the point. The point is, you officials took away the ebb and flow of the ball game. And that shouldn't happen. You guys should not be the ones dictating the football game.
But
it's about the kids.
But they did.
And I am sick and tired of it. I have called for years and years in this town, and I've made no bones about this quite often. And this was one of the worst officiating crews I've ever seen call a high school football game. And really, and I've seen this happen, Nick, even in my baseball league. We've had 2 umpires that were crappy all during the year. Guess what? They got booted. I don't think this crew.
Do we have that?
I'm telling you, this crew that was on the field should not be allowed to officiate again.
I'm just saying, do we have that luxury here in the state of Wyoming where, again, it seems like you're kind of pulling from a very select pool unless you go, hey, Colorado refs, come on up.
I agree. You know what they should do? They should not be allowed to do varsity football. They are not ready for prime time. This group was not ready for prime time. They were awful.
Yeah,
and the kids and that's what made me mad. Both Central and Thunder Basin had to suffer because of their ineptness and calling everything. Now, if they are the official rule book and it says call this, call that, I mean, they didn't let anything slide.
Yeah, it was a situation where that third quarter, again, minute penalties that you should have kind of let go, which you did, at least in a few select instances in the first half of that contest, where it was questionable on, okay, why did you not call that? But it was a situation in the third quarter where, all right, Central's already penalized by being down by 40 points. They're already digging themselves enough hole. Why do you need to help them out there, refs? Again, do you really need to? And I understand delay of game. Hey, that you got to call that on a team. Obviously, you got to do that. But again, all right, holding, really?
Well, here's the deal. If Mr. Laird, who was
you couldn't tell like maybe a heads up on alignment of neutral zone infraction.
Hear me out. Mr. Laird, if you happen to be streaming along with us today, because I know you're up there north of us in Casper, and you look at that 2-hour and 45-minute game film, where a football contest, usually with halftime, a high school football game, maybe
it should
2 hours.
It should
maybe
not
2 hours, and then we do a post game of 15 minutes. 2 hours and 45 minutes for the actual game, Inkle halftime. That's a disgrace. And again, if I'm the commissioner, I would definitely be calling these guys to the carpet. They did not. Again, you're supposed to do things with the motion of fair play, and you don't chastise.
Nothing really seemed fair play again, other than the obviously ones you have to call of going delay of game. But it just seemed like you wanted to just kind of just beat down Central. That was already a team that was beaten at the point of, again, early in that, at halftime, I do believe it was 40-0.
Yeah,
it was 40-0.
This was ridiculous. And again, I know with Coach Apodaca, he had his kids out there that started the game, and he was trying to find some type of formula to get the offense on track. The defense, once they made a change at quarterback, things shifted a little bit where the defense got a little more comfortable, and again,
it didn't seem like either sides of the ball for Central was really accustomed to much. It was a pretty rough night.
It was a rough night. It was a rough night, and to have what happened out there at Risky Field on Friday was a total injustice to both teams. It was teams and both coaches.
Well, especially for Central again, where they already had a black eye at least throughout that entire game. That was just basically adding insult to injury what the refs did to this team. Where again, really, you couldn't just let it fly one time of a holding or again a neutral zone infraction of just going, hey, walk up and just let them take care of things. Again, they're down 40 points. This is not. Are we anticipating that this team's going to come back and take care of things at this point in time? No.
Well, again, my disappointment, and again, I'm not the greatest broadcaster in the world anymore. Father Time has caught up with me. But, I still can watch a ball game, and I can still see stuff through the field glasses. Yes, there are obvious penalties. I'm not going to argue that fact.
And again, the ones you have, and again,
the ticky-tack ones, they got to go.
The ticky-tack ones that you never called throughout the first half that you eventually go, oh, okay, let's get paid by the flag apparently here in the third quarter and just call every little tiny thing. Well, what's your deal? Why now, but not then?
And again, remember to the guys in the zebra shirts, the game is about the high school kids, not you. And again, this crew, I would hope, and were they from out of I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Never checked on them. Couldn't tell you who they were by face, but I can tell you one thing: this crew should not work together ever again.
Yeah.
And if they if they're the best that are going to be available for varsity games.
It's going to be a long season.
Then you as coaches out there here in town, Coach Gallus, Coach Goff, and Coach Apodaca, and I think Coach Apodaca will agree with me, if this crew's ever allowed to come back onto a Cheyenne field again, you guys are going to be very disappointed because they're not good. And they should not be there.
Well, hopefully, at least the officiating crew does not ruin what is going to be at least an anticipated matchup coming up this Friday. Again, a game you will hear here live on 1480 K-Ray between the number 3 seed Kelly Walsh Trojans and number 4 seed Cheyenne East Thunderbirds over at least Oakey Blanchard.
The Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex.
Again, I'm so used to it's just old.
Because you played in the old Oakey Blanchard.
But anyways, again, a big matchup between these two powerhouses. It's going to be a very good one to hear, listen, and watch as well, too, again, as we are primarily, again, radio outfit here. But, again, we are adding as an additional bonus that visual side, again, with a sort of semi-professional production. I think I'm, one of my additions from week 0 to week 1, I've improved it vastly, where it's going to be a little bit smoother, a little bit
You're not just
better.
my kid. You did an excellent job. I was very impressed with it. Matter of fact, I watched some of it the other day while I was down here doing some work, and it came out better than I thought it would. And I know we were stressing and struggling up until
and again, I set the bar
for
myself. I set the bar pretty high again of trying to. I'm not trying to be Fox or CBS or NBC for a production. I'd love to be at least having that equipment around me, but again, it is something where it's going to be respectable, and again, for those who tune in, it's going to be a good time, or at least, again, informative, and also to a great way to enjoy these high school football games that we'll be covering throughout this season, and also to, again, with high school basketball and LCCC men's and women's basketball throughout this season and more seasons hopefully to come. So there is that. Again, Class 4A, not a whole lot of parity. It was 1 through 5 getting the victories, and next week, again, the big one that we'll have, it's the two, number 3, number 4, getting at it already in week 1, game 2. I don't know why we have to play.
Well, and these two teams, when they match up, they match up very well. So, again, Casper Kelly Walsh is going to try to beat you on the ground. They're not really a throwing team. They throw out of necessity. Again, with Cheyenne East, they operate out of the pistol. And, again, it looks like they've got their situation under control with the quarterback position as well as their running back situation. But, again, you know as well as I do, Chad Goff not afraid to put the ball in the air either.
No.
So, again, and it's not so much they do it out of necessity. It's part of the package, but Coach Goff will run his offense the way the game is flowing for him. So, again, I really look forward to this game. John Vance has done a really great job since he's taken over at Casper Kelly Walsh. At least he's brought that football program back to some stability. And, of course, we already know in his 13th season at Cheyenne East, Chad Goff, he's already got a couple of championships under his belt. So winning has become a tradition for him.
And, again, with this game coming up this Friday, again, it will be kickoff 7 o'clock. Pre-game set for at least tentative 6:30 here on 1480 K-Ray. And, again, it will be a must-tune in, a must-watch. Again, how you tune in is 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, or we stream live on 1480kray.com on the audio side. Visually-wise, again, it will be on the 1480 K-Ray YouTube channel and also, too, on Periscope Live, which you can find over on my Twitter account, which is at NickWyoSports. So that's all the ways you can see. So there is no reason why you cannot. If you can't make it to the game, you have no reason why you can't.
We know here on the local side they'll make it to the game. That is to alert the relatives, the friends.
For the Casper people as well, too, that don't have stations up there covering their
nobody
teams.
from Casper's covering your game, so you might want to pass along the word that we'll be definitely bringing it to you in its entirety.
I think one Casper outlet will do that for us once I pass along the information of, hey, here's how you watch your Kelly Walsh Trojans.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
Is your free checking account no longer free? Lose those checking account fees and lose the hassle by switching to Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking and experience truly free checking. With Platte Valley Bank's Value Checking, there is no minimum balance required, unlimited check writing, no per check charge, no monthly service charge, free net banking, free e-statements, free bill pay, free mobile banking, and Platte Valley Bank customers can use their debit cards at any ATM anywhere absolutely free. So stop by Platte Valley Bank today and lose those fees with Value Checking.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
Get the unexpected with the new 2018 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and with Kia Sorento you get intelligent and advanced technology for a better driving experience. The 2018 Kia Sorento helps you stay on course with available autonomous emergency braking and a lane departure warning system. Kia Sorento is also available with surround view monitor and parking assist to warn you of nearby vehicles. Come in today or call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, continued mostly sunny and breezy. Expect a daytime high of 82. Partly cloudy and breezy for tonight with a low down to 46. Sunshine for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We're calling for a daytime high of 71. Mostly clear Tuesday night with our low down to 47 degrees. And Wednesday's forecast continued sunny. And we're expecting a daytime high near 79.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Peroetti along with Nick Peroetti, and it is time to let you know what's going on with our other two teams, since we will be covering Cheyenne East. And again, doing the equal coverage of all three of our schools throughout the course of the football season. Matter of fact, the way you wrote it down, 4, 4, and 4. That we're going to have.
There you go. It's as easy.
And that's when they match up against each other.
Yeah, but again, it will be equal coverage for Cheyenne East, South, and Central throughout this season. And again, we will have from last week Central. We'll move on to East coming up this weekend, and then in 2 weeks we'll be up in Casper Kelly Walsh for Cheyenne South. So, again, our schedule is posted on 1480kray.com. You go under the programming guide and search for the sports broadcast schedule, and it will be there, and also to a link over to our YouTube side. And, again, it will show the upcoming schedule for high school football, and then once we get into the basketball season for high school basketball and LCCC men's and women's basketball as well, too. So look for that on top of everything. So as we look at least what is coming up this weekend, again, we know East taking on Kelly Walsh here in town. Cheyenne South will also to be back in town, and they will be hosting Thunder Basin. Ooh. So Thunder Basin will be returning back down to Cheyenne after their 47-0 victory over Cheyenne Central. They're looking to probably do the same thing, the Cheyenne South, coming up this weekend. And that one, it's, you hate to kind of put out that kind of verbiage, but it's not looking like, again, what we saw against Cheyenne Central. Again, I thought this was a Central team that was going to be vastly improved from last season. South, again, it is a young team. It is still a growing program out there under Dan Gaddis. It's a situation where it's, South needs to be firing on all cylinders if they want to pull up this upset against the number 5 Thunder Basin Bolts.
That's going to be a very, very, very tough. I can't even fathom, because I will say
Thunder Basin right now. It's a situation. Is Thunder Basin really that good?
Well, I think they've got one.
Was game one between them and Central a good feeling out process of, wow, this is a team that is good?
I think the litmus test is they've got probably one of the premier passers,
possibly,
in Mason Hamilton. And here's the deal: we look at a lot of these football teams where they like to ground it out on you. Well, they've got actually both a very balanced game.
Yeah.
They can throw the football, they can hurt you. And one thing, again, I liked about Mason Hamilton, and again, this is nothing against Dawson McClure, because, Dawson was running for his life a lot in the game against
he certainly
Thunder Basin. Thunder Basin gave great protection.
Yeah.
Hamilton very rarely was under duress to throw. And again, he throws a very tight spiral, and I mean, he can thread the needle.
Yeah.
And again, he's got good speed.
And it goes
receivers.
into the point that I was talking about, at least previewing the Class 4A before all Week 0 happened. But my theme was Central was going to be that dark horse team where it's a team that's not ranked, but it's going to be a team that surprises a few. And I thought out of the gates they were going to surprise this Thunder Basin team and get that upset against the number 5 ranked team. But it's a situation, is Thunder Basin's go.
I think
that's the team where I think they are the dark horse. As much as they are ranked, but it's a team that could possibly compete with the Natrona. Could possibly compete with a Sheridan, could get those victories against these teams, not knowing where they're going to be at in those respective towns, or at least if they have to go to Sheridan, if they have to go to Natrona, which I would assume they have. Well, if they already got 2 road trips to Cheyenne, I would imagine they have one of them come up to Thunder Basin. But it's an interesting. This is a team where
Thunder Basin will draw east here next week.
All right,
next Friday.
Anyways, though, it's a team that I certainly want to keep a close eye on, of just seeing what they do throughout the season. Of, is this team for real? Could it be a team that could surprise a few? Could this team make it far in the playoffs?
It will be their litmus test, I would think, next week. And again, nothing against Coach Gallus's team, but this Thunder Basin team is going to be hard to stop.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they do. But again, I think what we saw. And again, this kid's only a junior. I think we're seeing one of the premier quarterbacks right now in this Class 4A division in this Mason Hamilton. And again, I was fortunate enough to see him last year against South and saw a lot of positive things of him throwing the football. I think he's improved. He's got, and it's amazing too, the receivers that he has, they're all underclassmen. Yeah. I mean, this is a scary thought. These skilled players are coming back next year for Thunder Basin.
Yeah.
So that's even more.
And granted, as we talked, and I think you even talked with at least a few people about the situation up in Gillette, and it's whether it is Campbell County or Thunder Basin, it is a community that knows how to reload. It seems like year in and year out, where they might lose seniors, which Thunder Basin did lose not a whole lot, but a few on that team, again, when they all jumped ship from Campbell County over to the brand new Thunder Basin. But it's right now for the Bolts, this is a team that is it might be missing a few pieces for this season to be state champions, but we'll see what they're made of. Again, it's a team that I want to keep a close eye on, just see how for real this team is. Is this 47-0? Is it something that can indicate of what this team is going to be throughout the season? I don't know.
Well, again,
I really don't know.
Let me stop you there. First off, you win 47-0 on the road.
Which is, again, it's a phenomenal feat. There's nothing against it. But also, again, it goes into with Cheyenne East, so again, traveling up to Gillette. It's not an easy task, but again, we know Cheyenne East is good, but also, too, we know that Campbell County is a young and very weak team.
But Thunder Basin, they called off the Dogs early.
I wouldn't doubt East did, and I wouldn't doubt Natrona did in all those contests. Again, we saw as it seems like it's been a pattern for the past at least couple seasons. It's really no parity in Class 4A of where you see these top dogs putting on these butt whippings throughout Class 4A, and nothing's really changed. Again, Natrona and South. Again, I think it was in the 60s of last year of what the final score for Natrona put up on South. Again, Campbell County, they were lucky enough, I do believe, in the South. I do believe in the Campbell County and Central game that we broadcast. That was the first game, and that was week 7 of that year, that they finally put up a touchdown.
Right.
It might be another long season for Campbell County. It's what it's looking right now for them. Again, where they were at home and they couldn't put up a single point.
Yeah, and again, that's also a credit to the East defense.
Yeah,
the defense again.
But I'm just saying, other than again Sheridan and Rock Springs, 21-6, a victory for Sheridan. Is that a good test for them? If anything, it makes me worried about, is this team really number 1 in Class 4, or is Rock Springs a better team than what we
find
think?
out this week as Rock Springs travels to Laramie, and then Sheridan plays host to Central.
Yeah.
So. Again, I think Coach Apodaca and his staff will have the team a little better prepared. Do the same misfortunes happen to Central? I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, you're playing at Homer Scott Field, and again, Sheridan has put a lot of butt whippings on that field.
I think Sheridan at home is one of the most premier teams in all of Wyoming. They are so
dangerous when they're in Sheridan. So looking at the schedule, Campbell County will have Natrona. So the Camels will enter. It doesn't get any better for the Camels. Central will be at Sheridan. East will host Casper Kelly Walsh. Laramie entertains Rock Springs. And again, Thunder Basin will be at Cheyenne South. So there's your schedule for Class 4A this upcoming weekend. We're going to take a timeout.
Oh, we're going to do that now?
You want to take a timeout, or do you have anything else you want to add? I don't want to.
Just do it. Get on with it.
All right, let's take a timeout. We're going to be right back with more after these words on 1480 K-Rate.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range.
Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Boys, I know you take great pride in being prairie dogs, but our mascot needs more sizzle. And what has more sizzle than Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos? So meet your new mascot, a sirloin steak burrito.
Taco John's new sirloin steak burritos are loaded with steak and bold flavors like cheesesteak, steak and potato, and steak and shrimp.
God, Wachowski, stop eating the mascot.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, continued mostly sunny and breezy. Expected daytime high of 82. Partly cloudy and breezy for tonight with a low down of 46. Sunshine for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We're calling for a daytime high of 71. Mostly clear Tuesday night with our low down to 47 degrees. And Wednesday's forecast continued sunny. And we're expecting a daytime high near 79.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. 514-1071, our telephone number, or you can get to the phone and give us a call.
Like anyone talks on the phone nowadays.
That's why 307-514-1071.
Or, like I said, prove me wrong, people, but again, that's why I have the Periscope and YouTube
shoot us a
chats
question
up
there.
That's what I'm saying. Again, that's why it's posted of, hey, comments, suggestions, and questions are welcome on both the Periscope and YouTube side. Again, anything that you've heard on today's show or anything we need to talk about, which we will get to, again, with Wyoming Cowboy football, getting that victory, CSU collapse down there at Fort Collins. There's plenty to talk about today or throughout this, at least throughout this week. So, again, anything and everything. Again, I do have chats for both Periscope and YouTube here in front of me looking at it constantly, or at least when I can.
All right, and again, we don't want to forget our county teams. They all had byes during the 0 week, so they're going to be in action.
They don't participate in the 0 week. Good on them. They actually are smart about that.
Right. And speaking of Wright, it will be the Burns Broncs. They will be at Wright to take on the Panthers.
And again, Burns fighting off a pretty rough season. Again, they came away with one victory last year, hopefully trying to turn things around out there with the Burnside Bronx. Again, hopefully this is the first game, at least trying to get out of the blocks, get that victory, but only time will tell. And then you have another one as well, too.
Yeah, the two-time defending state champion Pine Bluff Hornets. They will have a non-conference opponent in Yuma, Colorado, making a journey to Pine this weekend.
Which Will Gray, head coach of the Pine Bluff Hornets, did mention with us here live on the show that they were anticipating to take on Kimball, Nebraska, but unfortunately Kimball, they didn't have
on the numbers.
They didn't have a whole lot of people coming out for football, so unfortunately they can't at least compete with Pine Bluff, so they had to at a last minute get a team out of Colorado. So that will be their first and only non-conference opponent there outside of Class 2A for Pine Bluff.
You know, there's so much to talk about here on a Monday, and again, you know, we're going to save when we get to the top of the hour, especially for the Cowboys. But
along with also too, again, we'll keep at least with the Wyoming Cowboys. We will also too, at least I will be giving away a pair of tickets to go see the upcoming Wyoming versus Washington State game this Saturday, along with a few other goodies. So be aware of that as well too.
You came downstairs yesterday afternoon while I was watching the ball game. You said, hey, Josh Allen got hurt. So real quick here as we get to the top of the hour.
That Bills offensive line is just garbage.
They are horrible.
They are garbage. No wonder why McCarron's out. Yeah, at least they're in Buffalo, and now Josh Allen.
He passed the protocol.
He passed the protocol because what led him off the field there in Buffalo was a situation where he had signs of a concussion. It was more so just hit to the head when he fell to the ground, but it wasn't anything too serious. But his play, and I think it's more so you blame the offensive line of not letting him do anything.
He got sacked 5 times for 39 yards. But Bills coach Sean McDermott said this today. He said that yesterday's game was valuable for Josh Allen, although his numbers did not show.
To learn how to additionally ad-lib in the NFL, where you were already on the run in college ranks out here in Wyoming, now you got to step it up even further out there in Buffalo behind that just awful line. And I think Josh Allen as well, too, talked about it where he put the blame on himself. Obviously, again, good quarterback, and obviously a team player is going to do that, but he went out and said that, and again, just kind of ad-libbing of what he did mention was essentially of, hey, I should have done a better job. I wasn't prepared on my feet. I didn't make the right decisions, and I should have played a lot better in that preseason game. Now, it brings up the big question again. We can only on this side assume, or at least play that kind of devil's advocate, or trying to figure out of what the Bills are going to do. Again, we do know A.J. McCarron's out for quite some time. He is out for.
But he'll be back. I think it was like week 5.
Week 6. But again, he's going to be out for a significant part of the regular season. So again, he was projected to be the starter for the Bills. Now it brings up the question of Josh Allen and also too Peterman with the Buffalo Bills. Did this game hurt Josh Allen's options to be a week 1 starter?
Again, here's Bills coach Sean McDermott. He said today of pass protection issues in yesterday's game. It's never one guy. There's a lot of hands in that cookie jar where the ball has to come out in time. We've got to work in sync, ball coming out in time, protection, running the right route. So there's a shared type of result when it comes to what you saw at times along the front line. There's times along the front we need to block them better too, so there's some multiple hands in the jar right now. So again, it's not just.
I'm just saying when Josh wasn't
Allen.
on the ground, he did have opportunities to make plays, and it wasn't anything spectacular of what he did over the past weekend. So that's why I just bring up the question of, did it hurt his options, or at least did it hurt his stock of being that week 1 starter?
Sean McDermott is still very high on Josh Allen. So
I think you have to be. I think there's no doubt about it that you have to go with Josh Allen as your week 1 starter. Again, you are that desperate unless you decide to trade or sign someone in replace of going, Josh Allen, you're not ready yet, or either Peterman. I don't think Josh Allen is, as much as we kind of talked about, or at least you have high hopes for him, especially coming from this part of the world, at least over in Laramie with the Wyoming Cowboys.
Absolutely,
but I don't think he's ready, and I get what the Buffalo Bills were doing with him of just sitting him out at least for a good majority of this year, not making him the starter, not putting all that pressure on him. I see it now. I get it now. And it's a very interesting situation with Buffalo of do you force Peterman to be that QB? Do you desperately in a move pick up a free agent quarterback or try to trade for a backup that could help you out or something like that? Who's again obviously more so of a free agent to get him on board, but I don't see that. From what I've seen, Josh Allen he can have stints of greatness in the NFL. It looks like it, but also too there are that issues where we saw over in Laramie where. I don't know if that was a great idea. That wasn't a smart move there, Josh. I don't know what you were thinking there.
But also, too, look where Buffalo drafted. They traded up to get to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They weren't that good of a team to start with last season.
They were good enough to make the playoffs. I mean, they made it to the playoffs. Yeah. They could say it more than any other team.
They're not that good. And, again,
if
you watch some of the protection that Allen had yesterday, you don't fault, I guess, the quarterback, since he is the field general. Yeah, you throw a lot of the brunt of the burden on him, but this was a total 11-man effort. The receivers are not that good. The offensive line is not that good, and Josh Allen's a rookie. Sean McDermott still flies the flag high.
But is he ready at this point to start week one, or is it a situation where
he's going to have to? He's going to have to be ready to go week one. I would think this weekend, if it's
But is it smart for Buffalo to put him out week one, or is it again? Are you that desperate of a team to go out?
He's your best.
And go out and say, hey.
He's your best chance to win.
Hey, free agent quarterback, please come in, and we don't have to force our hands to put him out.
Kaepernick has got to learn to.
Because again, this is at least in Buffalo's eye with Josh Allen, it's their diamond in the rough. This is their future leadership, and we didn't want to put him out year one, his rookie year. We wanted him to learn the NFL system, learn how to be an NFL quarterback, not put that pressure on him automatically. Is Buffalo in that situation where they're that desperate to go, hey, whatever free agent quarterback, please come on out. We need you. We'll sign you for a little money. And
all right, well, let's use Kaepernick, and then we got to get to the top of the hour. Real quick on Kaepernick. He's out of shape.
I just tossed it again of one big free agent.
That. I'm using your example. And again, this is just an example. What if?
I don't think he can be employed, especially when he's still suing.
It don't matter. The point is, though, he's out of shape.
Yeah.
He hasn't been to any of the OTAs.
All right, then what about?
But he can't learn the playbook. You can't learn the playbook in 6 days. This is. Again,
you would think as a professional, again, it's going to take you some time, but obviously, again, you should understand hey,
he's got to get out there.
What if for whatever reason you're traded? Hey, you got to get used to whatever new team system is in place.
Right. Ask Paxton Lynch. He still hasn't gotten the drill with the Denver Broncos, and he's been there 3 years.
We already know he's a bust, so I don't know where you're bringing.
Okay, but I'm just saying. I think what you do with Josh Allen this weekend is you play him maybe a quarter. And if you go a half with him, great, terrific. But he should be your week one starter right now. But again, Buffalo's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, but
it was evident yesterday. It was evident yesterday in the highlights.
But those problems, though, lead to injuries, lead to significant loss of play time. You already lost your starter of A.J. McCarron.
Right.
You're going to potentially lose right now again if this continues on. We already saw him get at least. He was pulled from the game again with the concussion protocol, again, getting his head slammed on the turf. Is it a situation that Buffalo has to realize of, hey, this is our diamond in the rough. This is the guy we traded up for. This is our future of the franchise. And he's out here running for his life. We already know that he is injury prone. We saw that in Laramie, at least with the Wyoming Cowboys. We know that he can easily get injured. Do we risk that going into week one?
I think
because obviously we know that at least for the Buffalo Bills, this week one, or at least this year is a complete wash. They're not making the playoffs. They're not a good team at all. We know that for sure right now, even seeing it in preseason. But do you risk it though? That's the question: is are the Bills going to risk it? Even though Josh Allen deserves to be that starter, do you risk?
But the question is, does Josh Allen get the drill? Hey, this is not college football. You can't just take off and run.
Well, that's why they wanted to sit him out. So
I think what they need to do, they got to sit down with him today and say, look, Josh, you got to pick your battles. when to take off and when not to take off. Josh has that tendency to just take off.
Yeah.
And he can't do that anymore. He's going. Unfortunately, he does have to trust the offensive line.
If that line is as terrible as we think it is, he's going to have to add
what they're going to have to do is
he's already running for his life.
I know what they're going to have to do is shoot him out. They can't have him be out of the gun. You got 6-7 yards to maneuver. But I think in a situation with Josh Allen, Sean McDermott's going to have to start having some rollout packages for Josh, and that's about the best they can do. All right, we got to take a timeout. We're going to come back with hour number 2 right here on 1480 K-Ray.
1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Wow, it's hot enough out there to fry chicken. So now's the time to find ways to beat the heat in Marv's Plumbing and Heating. 1515 Logan Avenue is the best place to go to get cool. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, which provides complete air conditioning, installation, inspection, and repair services, is offering its air conditioning inspections for just $98. So beat the heat right now by calling Marv's Plumbing and Heating today at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We thank all our fine sponsors. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. The Wyoming Montana Safety Council at 635-4592. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Right across the street, it's First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, ×2, the main repair center, Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy over on Bluegrass Circle, right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank, ×2. Eastside location, corner of College and Pershing, and of course, the original location on Vanda High. Kia of Cheyenne, where they have a great lot of Kias for you over on Nation Way. That's Kia of Cheyenne. Chick-fil-A, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 squares, 6 days a week, right there at the corner of Windmill and Delrange across from Menards. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, having a sale from Hale, and it's going on right now over on Highway 30. And last but not least, we say thank you to Taco John's, where they have a plethora of locations here in Cheyenne. We get things underway with our scoreboard, and again, nice plug, I'll throw it right there for our friends. We thank Will and the gang over at Pepsi of Cheyenne. Nick, what do you got?
Again, you realize that we are mainly a radio program, so you would have to describe, because those who are not watching on Periscope.
The can here is a Pepsi can that I'm holding.
You're an idiot. All right, so scoreboard, at least from the past weekend, we'll go with LCCC Sports. We'll start on the women's soccer side. The women's soccer, unfortunately, went 0-2 as they were down in a tournament in Melbourne, Florida. So tough losses for LCCC. For women's soccer, they will be back home in Cheyenne coming up this Friday. They will take on Otero Junior College, but we'll mention that later in the week. LCCC men's soccer in action at home, taking on Garden City Community College, got the victory 2-1. So they are 1-0 on the season, and we'll have a game, or at least a match, coming up this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then for LCCC women's volleyball, they were in a tournament in Council Bluffs, Iowa over the past weekend. They went 3-1 in that tournament, and they are now 4-1 overall on the season. They will be in action coming up this Wednesday. They'll be over in the Cougar Palace, Western Nebraska Community College. So that's what's happening, at least on LCCC, the local side. over this past weekend.
When you berated me like that on the air, you sound just like that buffoon on the other station, and that's good.
Who?
Who do you think? You sound just like him, making comments like that. Very, very degrading. That's what you want to be.
You got to think, though. Again,
that's the way you want to be.
We are primarily a radio program, and you go, here, check this out.
And I showed it to our friends that are with us on the.
Again, how do people who are listening go, oh, okay?
I always will clarify it's Pepsi of Cheyenne. But there you go. You got to sound degrading. That's the way.
Don't stoop to their level. Be better and be smarter.
Well, that's unfortunately.
It's the reason why I got all this thing running.
Unfortunately, you haven't gotten to that point yet.
Oh, please! Again, have you seen what they do?
Our scoreboard today: Major League Baseball. White Sox will be at the Yankees. Blue Jays will face the O's at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Nats and the Phils at Citizens Bank Ballpark. This is the big one. The A's and the Stros, that'll be at Minute Maid Park, 91 degrees currently before the first pitch. Brett Anderson going up against Garrett Cole. Mets and the Cubbies at Wrigley. Rocks tonight will be in SoCal to take on the Angels. John Gray will get the call for Colorado, see if they can snap that funk that they were in yesterday. They got blown out by the Cardinals. And game and a half back behind the Diamondbacks, looking for a little help from the Giants, who have basically cashed in their tickets. It will be the Giants and the Diamondbacks at AT&T. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Update out of the U.S. Open. Venus Williams has won 2 out of 3 in her match. I do believe it's Kuznetsova, as she won 6-3, lost 7-5, won 6-3. Her sister Serena will be in action here as we sign off at 5 o'clock again. The U.S. Open, the final Grand Slam for tennis, and of course the guys also getting underway as well today.
Don't try to at least go away, at least, I don't know if you're continuing on U.S. Open or at least trying to get away from what you just mentioned towards me before we got to that Pepsi ad. Again, degrading my production value here of what I've done on Wyoming Sports Talk today, which I will I'm going to proclaim that we are the best multimedia production here in the city of Cheyenne, here in the state of Wyoming. Hell, I'll even say it in the tri-state area, at least what we are doing here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, where, again, you can listen to us on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM in the Cheyenne region, or at least, again, we reach down to Fort Collins. We got a pretty large reach on the radio side. Also, too, we stream our audio live on 1480kradio.com, and, again, with the visuals, which we were the first to come out, and, again, I think the best produced in town, in the state. Again, where we are live on YouTube and Periscope live right now. Again, YouTube under the 1480K rate channel, and then Periscope via my Twitter account. Find me on Twitter at Nick Wyo Sports, WYONICK, just to spell it out for you, so you have no reason why you
All right,
find
we got some tickets that we're going to be giving away here.
How about we do it after we talk about the Wyoming Cowboys?
That's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing some talk about the Pokes. Real quick here, I want to mention my good buddy Bert over at Little Philly. If you missed out, they were closed for some remodeling. They reopened today. So, again, if you missed out, Little Philly has reopened, and they're back for business. It's their grand reopening. So do check out all of the tasty goodies over at Little Philly. Now, let's get into college football over the weekend. Cowboy fans.
And again, two games in action, or at least there was 3, but again, Rice and who cares? It was more so the Mountain West was spotlight over this weekend where we'll start with the earlier game. How about that? On CBS Sports Network, a game we were intended to at least be down and watch in Fort Collins, but unfortunately I came down with a little bit of a migraine, and you were just tired apparently from just being old. But CSU playing host to Hawaii. Hawaii was a 14-point underdog in that contest going away from the Islands, and guess what? Hawaii, they had a fun time down there in Fort Collins and got the victory over the CSU Rams. Now, this brings up a big question right now.
Are the Rams bad, or is the Rainbows good?
Is CSU overrated? And I think with Hawaii, and what we saw also, too, give a small shout-out to at least a Little League World Series where the Hawaii team did win as well, too, out there. It's... I don't know if you've been following the news or at least with the weather where they are dealing with the hurricane right now on the islands. That, I would not doubt, played a little bit into the hearts and minds of the players of Hawaii coming away from the islands, doing this for the folks who are dealing with this horrible situation right now. They're in Hawaii. For me, I would absolutely say that had a nice little part, or at least a nice little feel to this team where they came away, and this is a big upset. This is a big victory for Hawaii. Is it something that I can go, Hawaii is a for real team out there in the West Division? No, it's still Fresno State's to lose essentially, and again, I think Hawaii is a middle of the pack team.
It is a statement coming off the islands by the Rainbows. The Rainbows are... they struggle. They're good at home.
Yeah.
And when you bring them onto the mainland, they in years past they haven't been good. This win over Colorado State at CSU, again, we know Colorado State has been dealing with the Mike Bobo situation.
Mm-hmm.
They've also
Which
lost.
Is not
they've lost some
not an excuse that CSU is going to
No.
use again with the Mike Bobo again, where he was actually there on field and he was actually healthy enough to be with his team. So again, at least good news there for CSU, but something that they're not going to use as an excuse. And I don't think Coach Bobo as well too for that loss is going to use it as an excuse. I just think Hawaii, it was a team that had a lot to play for, and again, you could see it throughout. It's kind of that emotional play style where, with the Houston Astros, hey, I thought they were going to be the World Series champions because of the Hurricane Harvey situation. Well, guess what? They did, again, and that kind of fueled, at least in my opinion, fueled that victory. I think the same situation here with Hawaii getting that victory in the mainland down in Fort Collins. I think what is happening with the tragedy out there kind of fueled them, gave them that extra fire, that extra boost to go, hey, we might be 14-point underdogs against this team. Let's prove them wrong. Here we are on national television as well, too, on CBS Sports Network. Let's punch them in the face. And guess what? They did that right out the gates where Hawaii just looked phenomenal. They looked like a team that was one of the top dogs in the Mountain West, and they were going to put a whipping on CSU. They did for majority of the game, and then CSU figured out how to play football once again and got back into it, at least there in the tail end of the fourth quarter where it got to, they were chipping away, 14, 10, all right. They're down by 7. Does CSU have a shot? Well, Hawaii at least clamped it down and came away with a victory. But I think a huge upset victory for Hawaii. A great momentum boost for Hawaii. Not knowing what their schedule is coming up, at least who they face off in week 2. But this is a huge boost for them.
Well, Nick Rolovich, who is a former Rainbow Warrior quarterback, again, he's only 39 years old and he's coaching this ball club. Again, taking some of the pages of June Jones's playbook as Hawaii came over here. And again, I look at it, when I'm looking at the stats here and I look at Hawaii, they threw the ball 37 times. And again, again, I call it the old run and shoot offense. 418 yards through the air. When you got CSU throwing the ball 51 times, that's taking them out of their game because they like to run kind of balanced with running as well as passing.
Under Bobo's system, they do try to.
And they were forced out of their game plan by Hawaii. Offensively, they moved up and down at ease.
Yeah, they certainly did. For CSU, I would say that they want to be a balanced team, but they do throw, especially what we saw with Nick Stevens last year, and again, where you had the great target of Michael Gallup as well, too, for the CSU Rams. Unfortunately, both of those parties are now gone, but Hawaii, though, this was very unexpected. Again, a heavy underdog, and they came out with fire and punched right in the mouth CSU Rams. The Rams can recover from this, but it's going to be very tough. I think for Hawaii, that was a big victory. That was a very huge and defining at least start for their season, and can absolutely carry on. Again, are they going to compete for the West, at least West Division out there in the Mountain West against a Fresno State? I don't see it, but this is a team where they were pretty rough last year, but are showing improvements and looking like it could be a bowl-bound team.
Carter Samuels.
And as I'm looking at their schedule coming up, they will, at least this weekend, be back on the islands. Mm-hmm. They will be hosting Navy, taking a look at a few other non-conference, at least matchups. Also, too, at least the next Saturday, will be at home. They will host Rice, the Owls. And then later in September, we'll be on the road. They have to travel all the way to Army. So,
but again, looking back at the game, Carter Samuels had a good day throwing 68%. He was 34-50. They're running. Izzy Matthews only had 63 yards on 15 carries. They only rushed 116 yards. Hawaii now, since we've got them on the schedule, they make me a little nervous. Cole McDonald,
I almost wanted to write that game off of, again, as we know that old stint of Hawaii does bad, especially in an altitude situation on the mainland. They struggle a bit. Now you have to kind of pause and go, ooh.
See, here's what you have to worry about, too, because
this is a team that could be Wyoming.
McDonald, 26 of 37 passing. He also had 96 yards rushing on 13 attempts. So, again, kind of, the old Colin Kaepernick, how they run it, or, going back in the day.
How about a Michael Vick?
Yeah, again, I'm going to run it, or I'm going to chuck, I'm going to chuck the football. And, again, too, a couple names that we got to keep an eye on when we play Hawaii is Cedric Byrd. This guy he's fleet. He can fly.
Yeah.
181 yards he got in 11 receptions, and John Ursea, who caught 7 for 123 yards. So again, I'm telling you, Rolovich has got himself a good ball club. Mm-hmm. We better not sell them short.
The big question from this one, and again, it was something that I racked through my mind this weekend after seeing what Hawaii did, but is it something that CSU, did they come in too confident in this game? Was it, again, in you could say what it is about player focus, and again, we know with social media and how things operate, but was it a situation where, again, all those players can go on ESPN or those sportsbook and go, wow, we're a 14-point favorite. We should cruise in this one. We're at home. What do we got to worry about? They had to travel all the way from Honolulu out our way, and we're here in our cushy homes. Here, was it a situation that CSU got too overconfident, or is Hawaii that good? Is CSU that bad? This game brought up a lot of questions where kind of like what we saw, at least kind of comparison to Thunder Basin and Central, where, again, I thought Central was going to put up a better effort, and they did not. I thought that Central High team was going to be a dark horse team in Class 4A. Kind of same situation where CSU I thought was going to be a little bit more respectable than this. I thought they were going to get this victory. I thought it was going to be a massive blowout on the behalf of the Rams. But instead, you saw a 7-point victory by Hawaii, a complete and huge upset, a monstrous victory for the Rainbow Warriors. It brings up for me a lot of questions.
Well, first off,
amount of questions.
You should have answered your first question right away. Yeah, Hawaii's better. They're a better team.
They're improved from last year.
Well, and again, too, when you're CSU, you automatically get 3 points for being at home. That's automatic.
They had two touchdowns.
Yeah, and again, I think this was not the anomaly game where, oh, wow, they're going to, this shouldn't have happened. I think Hawaii is for real, and we better be ready for them.
I think with CSU fans, they would disagree with that. It was an anomaly game where it caught off a lot of people off guard. Where why would you give them that much heavy of a favorite in that contest when they got absolutely just embarrassed out there in the brand new Canvas Stadium in Fort Collins? Not saying it was a trap game or anything. It was more of a situation. If you poll those CSU fans, or at least people who are close by that team, I would think they would absolutely agree and go, that was unexpected. That should not have happened. Something's a little off with the CSU team that we need to be a little bit worried about going forward into this season.
Well, again,
and we had our thoughts, and I think we even talked with Pat Graham. He gave us his little insider on CSU where he thinks that it's a bowl-bound team. It should be competing with Wyoming and Boise State there at the top of the Mountain Division. Now, and again, I didn't agree with Pat on that situation, but is it something where he might back off? I think CSU is a team where I thought originally going into this preseason, I think CSU is going to find themselves at the bottom.
CSU will rebound back, but I don't think they're all that good.
I think on the Mountain Division side, where minus New Mexico, I think you got to, if you're CSU, you do have to worry about Utah State. I think Utah State's going to surprise folks, and also 2 Air Force. Is CSU better than those 2 teams? At this point in time, I have to say no.
But again, one game is not a litmus test, and again,
but that was a Mountain West Conference opponent.
And the deal is, if anything, Hawaii passed the test, we know that they are going to be a formidable foe off the islands.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we are not going to take anything for granted.
Not now.
They came where they go to 7,200 feet in Laramie. They're over 5,000 in Fort Collins. So obviously the rarefied air did not bother the Rainbow
And again,
Warriors.
1,000 feet difference is not going to matter to Hawaii, where clearly altitude and traveling to the mainland is not an issue for this team. It is something going forward. Obviously, Wyoming has a few games to look forward to before meeting with Hawaii. Granted, they got to travel all the way out to the islands. It's something that if you're a Cowboy fan and watching this team, it's no longer an easy contest as I thought in my mind. It's now,
you just don't mark it down as a win.
No,
They're not
at this point in time.
I think the Cowboys in every contest that they play, and I won't throw out Wofford yet, but I think every game that the Cowboys are going to be involved in this year is going to be a battle. And the first battle was won this past Saturday night. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back and talk about that win after these words right here on 1480 K-Ray.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
It's that time again for students to head back to school. Please be vigilant and pay attention to the students who are walking or riding their bikes to school or waiting at their bus stops. Let's do our part to avoid any accidents by following the rules of the road and observing all posted speed limits. Drive safe and support our schools and our students. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. The time is now, and the place to go is Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service for their annual model clearance sale of Jayco RVs and fifth wheels. This is your year to travel the countryside, and what better way with your Jayco RV from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. And to put you on the road today, save 30% on their annual model clearance. Their savings are always the best on whatever model you select. Come see and take home your favorite today when you buy from Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service at 6102 East Highway 30 in Cheyenne, or go online to jollyrogersrvs.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, continued mostly sunny and breezy. Expected daytime high of 82. Partly cloudy and breezy for tonight with a low down to 46. Sunshine for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We're calling for a daytime high of 71. Mostly clear Tuesday night with our low down to 47 degrees. And Wednesday's forecast continued sunny. And we're expecting a daytime high near 79.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Peroetti along with Nick Peroetti. So let's talk about a very impressive game that the Wyoming Cowboys had this past Saturday. And
I'll say impressive defense. Defense we know is for real, but that was a great effort. Offense, I'm warming up to. It's still predictable. I do believe so. It's nothing. Again, putting up 29 points against a New Mexico State team where I thought New Mexico State was going to put out a little bit better effort than this. But again, 29 points, it's good. It's not bad. Does it impress me? No. I still feel like this offense is very predictable, but it shows of signs that is improving from last season, that it's learning of trying to get out of that predictability, that it's trying to adjust of going, all right, to be better than we were last year, to adjust to a Tyler Vanderwall and to get our new pieces in there that will be better than what we had, or at least what we saw last season. Here's just what we have to offer. Again, happy with the outcome of what Wyoming did. Again, a great effort. Defense was just phenomenal. Obviously, one little garbage touchdown in the fourth quarter by New Mexico. Other than that, it would have been a complete blowout, and it should have been. But
it was a blowout. I don't know where you're going with that. It was a blowout.
Well, I'm just saying it should have been a shutout.
A shutout. But here's the total numbers. Let's get everything out here in perspective. This Wyoming defense, as I said from the get-go, this defense is going to win you ball games. You don't believe me. Defense wins games, and this team proved it.
Will it this weekend though?
We'll see. Maybe we're they might be a Pac-12 team, but we don't know what Washington State's all about.
Yeah,
and we better get on our homework, because you know what? The Cowboys did not put the defense in any precarious situations. I thought the offense, maybe it wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread, but it didn't hurt ourselves. And again, Nico Evans had a great game. Again, very balanced offensively, where they ran the football more than they needed to throw it. Now, Tyler Vanderwall needs to get a little more crisper on his passes. I
think with Evans, though, you take in great positives of what he did over this past weekend. Again, where the run game from last year was non-existent. It was pathetic. It was trial by committee. Again, where who knew it was going to be the running back every year.
And the Bigelow kid is going to be really good. This Bigelow kid is not too bad. He's a pounder.
He's a good backup behind if Nico Evans needs a break or is, for whatever reason, not able to play. But again, Nico Evans, where he puts up 198 yards rushing, that's pretty good. 2 TDs as well too.
And on the net, 190 yards net. So let's look at Nico Evans had 190 yards net. On the ground, New Mexico State had 42 yards rushing, and they had 144 yards passing. That's a net of 186 yards. Nico Evans.
They passed more than Wyoming, so that's whatever.
Yeah,
that's
but Nico Evans had more yards than New Mexico State combined.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this defense, I'm telling you, they swarm, they hit you.
Again, we know what the defense is. We know it's a top 10. We can drool over them as much as we want.
You have to drool over them because they're going to win you that championship.
Just shut up. Anyways, though, with Wyoming, though, it's more of a situation, though. You look at the positives, though, where again the question marks that defense. We know what we're getting out of them. There's no question about it. It did what it needed to do. It was more so the big question was the offense, with the line, with the rushing. Quarterback still, Tyler Vanderwall, 137 yards, no TDs. Again, it is what it is. But let me finish. Again, with Nico Evans, at least now you have a premier running back, or at least could possibly be throughout this season. And that offensive line, as much as it's been dealing with injuries, it's not as healthy as it was a few months ago, and eventually it'll get back to that healthy state. But as of right now, it's getting those holes and those opportunities for your running backs for Wyoming. That's huge. That's a big positive right now. Again, a big kudos to, at least on the offensive side, where something we question. You question, again, especially with the health of that O-line. I think right now, as is, it's almost a well-balanced team.
Yeah,
defense is clearly solid. Offense is getting there. If they can chug and
it will be a work in progress.
If they can fix things, obviously kind of tweak a few things, this is a team that is going to compete with Boise State. It's a team that could possibly be in your Mountain West Championship.
And again, for Vanderwall, his first action since he's a redshirt freshman, you got to remember, Romero came from the JC ranks, so he's already been playing football for his freshman, sophomore years. So he steps onto the field already as a junior.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Wyoming Cowboys made him look sick out there. And again, too, the Cowboy defense, that front four, they were just absolutely magnificent. Yeah. So yeah, you talk about me drooling over the defense. I haven't had an opportunity in a long time.
You saw it last year. This is the same solid defense that was top 10 last year.
They are better. I think they are a better outfit now. They're a year older. They've been within the system now. Well, again, you look at Wingert. You look at
it was a defense that finished top 5 in the nation last year. It's a top 10 defense.
And they also were getting hurt towards the end of the season as well, too. This is a healthy team right now, which I hope health is going to be not a problem for this ball club. I think
if it is, then it's a very serious situation.
Well, again, if they keep everybody on the health side of
which you can't.
No, I think you will, because one of the two things that happens to the Cowboys, they get 2 byes this year. So again, where you play 4 weeks, you'll get a bye, and then you'll play 4 weeks, and then you'll get another bye. That's by having that 13th game with the Hawaii Rainbows. So I think for the Cowboys, if they, again, what happened to Austin Fort with the knee. I don't know, again, what the damage was, and I haven't heard any more on his prognosis. But the thing is, if this ball club stays relatively healthy on the defensive side, I'm telling you, they can carry this team on their back. Those 11 guys can carry the Wyoming Cowboys on their back. Because
they'll keep them competitive. Again,
they give you good field position. That's what they did in that whole entire game.
It's what they did last year. Again, what we're seeing this year should be nothing different of what we saw last year with this defense. Again, why was it considered top 5 in the nation last year? It's going to continue to be this year if they can all stay healthy, which, again, fingers crossed, and hopefully they will be. It's a defense that is at its peak.
Do you think, and I'm going to ask you this right now because you and me are going to go after it, and I'll tell you how I feel after. Do you think Washington State, as good as they are, the Cougars, coming to town, you think they're going to put up as many points as the Ducks did last year?
Something tells me that they could.
No. I want a yes or no. Are they going to put up as many points as the Ducks did last
yes.
year? Okay.
I will say that.
I will disagree.
Again, that Oregon team from last year was no great shakes. Nothing that fantastic. Washington State, they're kind of in that same situation, at least of what I've been reading in the Pac-12, at least kind of standings. They're without a few key players of what they've had of recent years, and it's still you got to respect. It's a Pac-12 team. They're playing against that elevated competition. This is that bonus game. Hey, you come on out here, and we're gonna pay you some money. It's a situation right now. I don't. Do they surpass what Oregon did point-wise last year? No. Do they get close to what Oregon did and put on that, at least on that scoreboard? For whatever reason, in my mind, yes, I really do.
Totally disagree with you.
Because again, you're seeing with the same defense of what we had. I just have a feeling.
I do believe we got a phone ringing in.
Yeah.
So let's go to the phone line and welcome on our guest here as we say good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello there.
How you doing?
How you doing today?
Good. I wanted to weigh in on this particular topic. I would tend to think that the defensive debacle that we watched last year against Oregon will not happen against Washington State. I would tend to think that, I think Wyoming knows the style play that Mr. Leach is going to come into Laramie with. And we're going to prepare for him. And we're going to get a game plan, and we don't want to repeat that kind of thing. And if we can all be efficient on the offensive end, it could make for a heck of a ball game.
I believe, and this is my opinion, this is where I disagree with Nick, I believe that Washington State won't get half of what Oregon scored last year. Because I don't think, first off, the offense last year left the defense very short fields. I don't see the offense being that bad. I do see them getting better with every week, but the defense right now is peak. And I think, like I said, I think this defense, like any, like a Major League Baseball player, I think this defense can carry the Cowboys on their back. And again, with the win over New Mexico State this past weekend, if that's not a packed house on Saturday, then I don't know what we need to get people to come out and watch. I really don't know. I'm going to throw in the towel on that one, but there should be a hell of a crowd coming up Saturday afternoon to watch the Cowboys and the Cougars, and I think the Cowboys' defense is going to carry them, whether to a victory or to a game that's going to be very, very close.
I will weigh in by saying that I believe that it will heavily rely on whether the Cowboys can put more of a complete game offensively together. Especially if it's nice to be able to run the ball in New Mexico State and all, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how Wyoming handles Washington State's defense.
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate the phone call. You take care.
Yep. See ya.
And also, too, and I'll go back to this, Nick, and then I know we need to take a break here in a little bit, and then we got some tickets to give away. But here's the deal, too, and he made a point on the offense. Vanderwall, like any first-year quarterback, first-game quarterback, you can't tell me he didn't have the butterflies flowing. After getting that first hit,
no,
it's college football time. This is the way we play at D1.
All right.
I'm sure when he goes out there Saturday in front of the home folks, and a big crowd is going to be there, you don't have butterflies. Back kicks into the adrenaline portion of the program, and you're going to be all amped up to play. Let's just hope. That. And again, I want to disagree with you on the score.
On the score, something just tells me that Washington State, again, figures out the kick on all cylinders. Again, right now as I look, and it's early, at least with the lines, Washington State is a 1.5-point favorite in this contest coming up this Saturday. But, again, you got to respect it's a Pac-12 team as much as they got to travel to Laramie. Obviously, hey, it didn't slow down Oregon last year. You're seeing basically an equivalent Pac-12 team in your house. Maybe it is a situation where Wyoming doesn't allow as many points, or at least they kind of learn from past mistakes, but I don't see they come away with this victory.
Well, and
I really don't.
The key will obviously be establishing the run. Will Nico Evans not necessarily run for 190 yards, but will he be able to take some pressure off the passing?
But you're elevating from a New Mexico State team that were, as much as I thought it was equivalent to a Mountain West team, and it still could be. I really don't know what to make of New Mexico State coming up this season, but it is a Washington State team. We do not know. They have not played, obviously. Wyoming does have that advantage of having one game under their belt, where Washington State, this will be their first contest.
And give respect, their Pac-12.
And again, what is their defense going to be like? What is their offense going to do? Is it going to be a situation that we see a repeat of what we had last year with Oregon in Laramie? For me, in all intents and purposes, as I've said in the preseason, or at least leading into where we are right now, I got to stick with it. I think Washington State brings Wyoming back down to reality of going, hey, we're in the Power 5 conference for a reason.
Well, and you're absolutely right. I mean, it would not surprise me.
As much as Washington State of recent they've been good, but Washington State of years past has been awful.
It wouldn't surprise me the Cowboys are 1-1 after this weekend. It would not surprise me, and I think a lot of people would say, "Hey, that's okay."
This is a true. It's a true gut check.
If they keep it competitive, that's all I want. If the Cowboys can keep this thing competitive. But the thing is, I will hang my hat on the defense simply for the fact that this is a veteran team. They know each other's moves. This is what you like about these guys. They know what they're thinking all the time out there.
Yeah.
And again, you go with all the preseason accolades to this Wyoming Cowboy defense against New Mexico State. They showed you why they're getting these preseason accolades. And again, not just against the Aggies. It's got to be against the Cougars. And it's got to be against the Tigers. And it's got to be against Wofford. It can't be just one weekend only. I think this team is going to be a steady performer. Keep them healthy. That's all I ask. Keep this defense healthy this year, and we might be seeing a team not so much running the table, but are going to have a heck of a year.
Possibly, I think so. Again, these next 2 weeks are going to be very tough.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And again,
if they get a victory over Washington State, absolutely, that's big. If they get the victory against Missouri for whatever reason in Columbia, highly doubt it. But if they do, that's huge as well, too. Again, where you're beating in back-to-back weeks, a Pac-12 and then an SEC team where, again, not top of their pack, at least of their conferences, but still mid-tier of Well, they could probably whip on any other Mountain West team on any given Saturday, but it certainly would be big momentum, big victories for, at least for Wyoming, if they are to pull off against Washington State. Obviously, they got to focus on this weekend coming up of, can they get it done?
Well, and last year...
Are they going to avoid of what they saw last year between a similar Oregon team?
And last year they came out and it was a Pac-12 team. This year it's two D1 teams getting together in Laramie. Two Division I football programs. Wyoming, take away the Mountain West Conference moniker and take away the Pac-12 moniker of the Washington State Cougars. Hey, two D1 teams are going to be battling at the war, and let's see which team comes out with the win after it's all said and done. All right, we got to take a timeout. And when we come back, a very special gift from one Nick Proetti.
Don't say it like that.
Well, you're going to be giving away tickets, right?
How you say it is just weird.
It's a special gift.
Don't say it like that. That's just... It's gross when you say it. Don't say it like that. How about a giveaway?
A special giveaway from one Nick Proetti. As he's
when you say a gift, it just sounds weird.
It's a gift. I mean, gosh.
Stop being creepy. Just go to the break.
Creepy? Folks, take a look on camera. You know what I'm talking about, creepy.
We're in high definition. They can tell.
Right behind the microphone is one creepy kid right there. We're back after these words on 1480 K-Ray.
As Cheyenne's weather turns warmer, dust and pollen can become a problem for those with allergies, asthma, or respiratory issues. And the last thing you want in the summer heat is poor air quality in your home or office. So it's time to turn to Marv's Plumbing and Heating. That's right, Cheyenne's most trusted plumbing, sewer, and heating business also services air conditioning. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, can handle all your air conditioning needs. Give them a call, 316-7634. That's 316-7634. Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Are you thinking about purchasing a home? Then Platte Valley Bank can help. With Platte Valley Bank, you can count on local decisions and expect to work with an experienced staff to design a loan to fit your needs. Just log on to pvbank.com and fill out our online application. We have money to lend, and at Platte Valley Bank, we are in the business of fulfilling dreams, enriching lives, and building our community one loan at a time.
All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Is your teenager ready to drive?
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Sorry, you're not ready to drive yet.
What? Come on.
You need to complete a driver's ed class first.
The Wyoming-Montana Safety Council offers a complete driver's education program taught by Tim Woodard, former Laramie County School District's driver's ed teacher. Classes are starting soon. Please call 635-4592 to sign up or go to wmsafetycouncil.org. Wyoming-Montana Safety Council. Think safe, live safe.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
Otherwise, for today, continued mostly sunny and breezy. Expect a daytime high of 82. Partly cloudy and breezy for tonight with a low down to 46. Sunshine for tomorrow, a little bit cooler. We're calling for a daytime high of 71. Mostly clear Tuesday night with our low down to 47 degrees. And Wednesday's forecast continued sunny. And we're expecting a daytime high near 79.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today for a Monday. It's the theme of football, and of course we could stay on the Cowboys here up until the top of the hour. Again, a very solid performance. A very solid performance this past Saturday in Las Cruces.
It was good.
And again, looking for hopefully a repeat performance in front of the home folks.
It's going to be a little bit tougher than getting one on the road, at least New Mexico State. As much as you are here in Laramie, again, you got to realize, hey, you had the same opportunity against Oregon last year. Again, it's going to be tough. It's not a guarantee that you're going to win. This is certainly a confidence booster going into this Saturday's game, but it is not. Again, this is a game that can easily get out of hand. And in my opinion,
you don't want it to.
You don't want it to, but it's something. It's something you have to realize, especially with these Pac-12 teams that love to put up point after point after point after point. This is another team that can absolutely do that.
Well, and again, you also have to expect the unexpected. So, before we put
and it is Mike Leach's homecoming because he is from Cody, Wyoming.
But also, too, one of the things I've seen in all my years I've been here, we've always wanted big crowds at UW, and a lot of times we did not deliver. Well, you're going to have a big crowd out there this weekend.
Because Oregon was the one last year, and I think it kind of tapered off after then, right? If I remember.
Yeah, the crowds got a little less. But the point is, and again, for the price that they're charging for this ticket to go see the game, this is one of this.
Apparently, what they charge for these games and whatnot is, people's budget for the entire season, where it's like, ugh.
Yeah, but this is the big payday for.
Can't afford that Utah State game now.
The Washington State Cougars. But the point is. This is the one where if you want fans to be consistent this year, not jump on the bandwagon, so to speak, or jump off the bandwagon, you gave them a reason to jump on as of Saturday night's win. Keep them coming back to the war every home game this season.
And so again, if they lose this contest, guess what? Those fans are going to be gone.
If they're blown out. If they get beat at the final gun, or if they go down swinging, it'll keep the fans coming out because, again, nobody's expecting them to beat a Pac-12 team. Nobody's expecting them to win.
I would think a few Cowboy fans out there believe that they could.
The Cowboys believe they can beat the Cougars, but not too many fans. Again, everybody here who believes brown and gold, they're in the back of their mind, we want the Cowboys to win. But there's a lot of realists out there that say, you know what, not going to happen. So if they win, that is icing on the cake. If they play well, it will still draw the fans out there. Because, again, no one is saying, I shouldn't say no one, a lot of folks are saying, I just don't think, you already marked this down as an L. You had marked down the next 2 weeks as L's.
And I still think it, in my opinion, I absolutely believe it. Again, it's nothing against this team, but I think you're just playing against way tough competition where, again, you can't disrespect the Pac-12 team, and again, also too going on the road against an SEC team out in Columbia, Missouri. I think it's going to be, after wrapping up after this, is going to be two long weeks for the Cowboys before they take on Wofford, where it's something where you're going to have to kind of lick your wounds and figure out, try to get all hands on deck of trying to gain back some momentum going into, Mountain West play, but again, anything could turn around. I as much as I just said that Washington State could put up that numbers that we saw with Oregon, I still believe it. I still believe it, but also, too, there is something in I don't know whether it's heart or brain of going, well, I think the Cowboys could pull off this upset. Possibly.
Yeah, well, this is where we agree to disagree, and again, you...
This is a tough one to kind of... I know, it's really tough to decide.
You kicked my butt on picks last year. I just got a feeling on this one, not being a homer, just knowing how well this team does, I think they're going to be okay as far as getting getting very close in winning this contest, if not actually winning the contest.
Yeah.
Speaking of contests, you got one going on right now.
Yeah, I certainly do. Again, as we'll give away a pair of tickets to this Saturday's contest between Wyoming and Washington State over there in Laramie, Wyoming. Again, that game will kick off at 1:30 p.m. We do have two pairs of tickets, or at least a pair of tickets, so 2 tickets, and then also 2 from our friends over at Chick-fil-A in Delrange, at least on the corner of Delrange and Windmill. Let's see, we got a choice of a breakfast treat between an egg white grill, hash brown scramble bowl, chicken or sausage on that option, and also a Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit. Again, that is good over at our friends at Chick-fil-A on the corner of Delrange and Windmill. So we're going to go to the patented Fishbowl of Awesomeness as you return after dealing with whatever that was.
I took care of it.
Alrighty. Again, at least with our Fishbowl of Awesomeness, thank you to all who joined us on the Facebook and Twitter side. I put out the contest to all of, again, on those both social media sides, and we will draw. At least of the names that I did get here, at least, because we've been getting a few names during the show, and unfortunately I can't really pull that up. However, though, names in this bowl, and also 2 names that I pulled from at least who keep on joining throughout these days, because again, we're going to give away a pair today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because we have 4. So here's 1 out of the 4, then 2, and then 3, and then 4.
And we expect you to use those tickets too. Don't let them burn.
And don't sell them as well too, because again, that is,
that's not cool.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, these are my tickets.
Jeez,
I'm not. I won't.
How
be
people can be
about
late.
that.
Anyways, get that audio right there. You can hear the fishbowl. And let's see, who's going to be our winner?
I don't know who.
It's going to be Sean Schneidmiller.
Sean Schneidmiller. Okay.
That's going to be our winner out of the Fishbowl of Awesomeness. He has won a pair of tickets to go see Wyoming versus Washington State. And again, those 2 goodies over at Chick-fil-A on the corner of Delrange and Windmill. So guess what, Sean? You got to come on by at least the K-Ray Studios, pick up your prize bag.
And he's won before, so I know he will use those tickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So again, we got ticket giveaway tomorrow.
And Wednesday. And Thursday. So, again, don't be discouraged. Again, I'm retaining all names that I have been on the Twitter side and also, too, on the Facebook side. Again, I'll continue to add who joins in throughout up until Thursday's final show, where, again, those names, you all will have a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Wyoming versus Washington State coming up this weekend.
All right. Anyway. We will switch gears here for just a couple of minutes as we will get ready to wrap up our program for today. Again, I want to remind you it's high school football this weekend from the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30 pregame show. It will be East taking on Casper Kelly Walsh. We will have that action for you live right here in 1480 K-Ray, 101.1 FM, 1480KRay.com, and 1480 K-Ray when you punch up YouTube. Also on Periscope, as you say as well. But
I don't like how you say it, though. Again, find us on those social sides. Yeah, don't give me that look. But, again, Periscope Live, again, where you can find me on the Twitter side where it's at Nick Weil Sports. And, again, the 1480 K-Ray YouTube channel, again, by simply searching 1480 KRAE in that search bar on YouTube. Or we do have direct links on, let's see, the 1480 K-Ray YouTube, at least 1480 K-Ray Facebook page, the Wyoming Sports Talk Today Facebook page. It's on my Twitter side as well, too. And also, too, it's on the 1480KRay.com website where it does have a big follow button with the YouTube logo up there. So there's, again, you got 5 ways to subscribe and watch the game coming up this weekend.
All right, Major League Baseball, we turn our thoughts to that. Rockies will be in interleague play for a couple of games against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who have pretty much checked out.
They're done.
For the remainder
They
of the
rolled
season.
over, yeah.
So the Rockies are a game out. They will take on the Giants. The Diamondbacks will take on the Giants tonight in San Francisco. So, again, have the Giants totally checked out? Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they took 2 out of 3 from Texas.
It's Texas. Who cares? Texas is the bottom team of the AL West.
Again, it depends on...
Giants have nothing... Again,
are the Giants going to be the spoilers in the West?
They're going to try to be against Arizona, but it's a team right now that is trying. It's picking up the pieces and basically getting ready to unload.
Doesn't Mad Bum throw tonight? So obviously they're still throwing out their aces. It's not like they've. We know that Buster Posey has wrapped up his season. He's got
which I told you again. It was anticipated that he was going to
will
he
catch again? That's the question. It doesn't look like it. He may. Belt, he might be gone, and we might be seeing Buster Posey as your new.
There's real no guarantee with Belt, because Belt had at least not a. He had an improvement year. He did not go down in his numbers again with the home runs and his ERA, at least ERA, or not ERA, but average. With Brandon Bell, he did improve this season. I don't think he's going to be on the move per se. I don't want to go. I wouldn't say that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do we say that Buster Posey's never going to be behind the dish? No, I'm not going to say that.
I don't know, but
I really doubt. I doubt it.
He will have less games behind the
dish.
Oh
yeah, that's what they kind of experimented with this season of going. All right, have fun around. No longer catching, especially when you did have Hundley behind there, at least assisting him out through this one season.
The other series, keep an eye on Rockies game behind the Diamondbacks. Is the Athletics and the Astros. Game and a half separating those two.
Obviously, big series, clearly.
That's going to be, but again, it's going to be a good, fun series at Minute Maid. We'll see how that one pans out throughout the course of this week. All right, coming up tonight from 8 until 10, it is our Golden Age of Radio Theater, Red Skelton Times 2, from 8 until 9. 9 until 10, it's Suspense Theater right here on 1480 K-Ray. Again, do join us for more Wyoming Sports Talk today, tomorrow, from 3 until 5 at this time. And I'm not trying to rush through things here, but I'm looking at the clock.
No, I don't care. I'm hungry.
Oh, which way are we going? Are we going to go with the latter, or are we going to go with the first one that I wanted to do?
Do whatever. Again, pick something and figure it out. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I haven't eaten.
Wah. What? 800 wah?
Oh, please, because, again, you complain as much as any other party.
Well, yeah, because I got you. All right. Anyway.
You're lucky you have me. If you didn't, you wouldn't have all this. You're welcome.
Right. Okay. We leave you today with one last thing on our program is what happened on this date in history. Here's Nick.
August 27th. We'll go back to last year. This without giving everything away, but it was August 27th, 2017. This event happened. This major event happened in sports. This talked about for years event finally happened, and it ended in another victory for a specific someone. How do you not remember from last year? The most hyped thing of all time, again, where it led to, parties being paid out in millions.
Oh, would that be Floyd Mayweather winning last year?
Against who?
Oh, the British dude.
British?
McGregor.
How about Irish?
All right, well, either way, McGregor.
August 27, 2017, former 5-weight world boxing champion Floyd Mayweather Jr. defeats MMA fighter Conor McGregor in his debut match in the 10th round in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's what happened. The super fight happened.
In the hometown of Money Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
All right. With that all being said, we wrap up our program.